This is going to be the craziest price prediction you have ever seen. Uniswap is about to upgrade May 5th, and I'm telling you guys, all right, look, let's just be completely honest with you guys. I do these price prediction videos. They do pretty well, but remember, we're just throwing darts in the dark, right? Most of these price predictions and pretty much every price prediction on YouTube are probably not going to be that accurate, right? But that doesn't mean I can't update you guys on what's going on with Uniswap, the biggest decentralized exchange on planet Earth, and the upgrades going on. Keep watching. What's going on, everybody? Alex back with another cryptocurrency video. And yes, Uniswap is upgrading their protocol. We're going to make a price prediction, but remember, don't take this seriously. This is just research that I am going to provide you guys with. I'm not the first person to make a price prediction. I won't be the last person to make a price prediction. I'll tell you guys what I think towards the end of the video. But again,
don't take this serious.
I'm doing the best of my abilities, but pretty much it has to be wrong. The market is extremely volatile. Nobody can predict where it's going to go. I just know number go up. Just kidding. We back up everything with research, of course. I do the best of my ability to provide you guys with evidence. I keep things down to earth, and if you appreciate that, feel free to smash the like button. I'm dropping more and more videos on this channel. I'm trying to become the greatest cryptocurrency YouTuber on planet Earth, and I will not stop until my mustache is massive. And okay, that's a bad joke. Let's jump into the actual video. So as you can see right here, Uniswap is number 8 on CoinMarketCap. We just simply click this right here, and you can see it's $27. Now, the crazy part about this, guys, is that they gave out a lot of free Uniswap back in the day. And I remember at the time it was worth like $300-400. Now it's worth like $6-7 grand. So this was the greatest stimulus check ever given, from my understanding. And a lot of people made money off Uniswap. Now, that's obviously not the only reason why it's doing well. It's the biggest decentralized exchange. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, essentially the regular exchanges you use like Binance and Coinbase, it's the same thing, but nobody's controlling your money. It's decentralized, meaning it's smart contracts essentially govern the protocol and make it work. They don't actually, smart contracts don't govern. They actually have the token, people govern it, right? And they vote on proposals, but the smart contract runs itself, right? Nobody can stop your transaction. Nobody can say, hey, this person can't get this coin. And this is beautiful because a lot of exchanges have regulation and it limits people from getting coins. And this is probably why their volume is absolutely ridiculous. As you can see right here, they get $1 billion worth of volume. In some cases, they're beating Binance on certain days. It's great because, you can launch a project. You can put it on Uniswap as long as it's ERC20 compatible under the Ethereum blockchain, and people can buy your coin, and it doesn't need to be launched. Like, you don't have to pay someone on a centralized exchange to get it launched, right? If you don't know what Uniswap is, guys, I have tutorials on this. The Uniswap, MetaMask tutorial to basically get any cryptocurrency on the market that's ERC20 compatible. And yeah, again, like I said, I use this a lot. Now, gas fees are pretty expensive. They're upgrading to version 3, so hopefully they're solving some of these gas fees with the optimistic rollups, ZK rollups, with optimistic and Ethereum layer 2, right? All these things that are being solved on Ethereum currently as we speak. There's been a lot of upgrades recently, and they're upgrading as well. So we'll go over those details. I'll tell you what's going on. I know I'm not like perfectly early, like I wasn't like the first person to talk about this because there's other things that were going on, but it doesn't mean we can't go over it. Again, we're still early. May 5th is when they're actually launching it, from my understanding. I'll double check that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, it's going to be a good thing for Uniswap. They're going to appreciate in value over time. I do think it's going to be eating up some other cryptocurrencies, and it could potentially have a market cap. I don't see why it can't be top 3. It's the biggest decentralized exchange on the internet, right? So let's pay attention to see what's going on. So just really quickly, let's go over some information. It's about $14 billion in market cap. The circulating supply is about 519 million. And just notice one thing. It's about halfway of its total supply. The max supply is going to be 1 billion, so we're halfway there. Now they've done airdrops, so there could be a chance that there's going to be another airdrop, right? I wouldn't not be surprised that they do it again, right? If you didn't experience the first one, again, all they did is the people that provide liquidity to the protocol. If you were an LP provider on Uniswap, you got allocated coins for doing that for no reason. They just airdropped you free money. Now you should know this by now, and if you don't, guys, feel free again to subscribe to the channel. But the big killer app is already here. In 2017, people have been talking about, hey, there's going to be a killer DeFi app. There's going to be a decentralized application that's going to take over the internet. It's already here. And if they're not telling you about this, you're in the dark, right? The killer app is here, and it's called Yield. Now, not a specific protocol. I know there's some protocols called Yield. I'm talking about annual percentage yield, meaning there's a lot of people in cryptocurrency that want to make passive income. And you could do that by giving them your crypto, right, to the decentralized exchange so they can actually execute the decentralized swaps. I know this is elementary for people, but bear with me. Some people got to learn, right? And you can get like, you know, in some cases 20%, right? So let's just actually go to the website and we can see specifically, I'm just talking random numbers here. So if we, let me just duplicate this really quickly. We actually go to the website. You can come over here and say use Uniswap, and then you can simply provide liquidity by going to pool right here. You can add liquidity. I don't have any liquidity here yet because it wasn't like extremely profitable. There's other projects that do the same thing, but if you have a lot of money, like if you're providing a lot of liquidity, it's probably the best place to go. It's like the least risky. Now they're upgrading again a lot of the features of providing liquidity. So they have the killer app, it's working, a lot of money being allocated to LP providers. Now they're fixing a lot of the issues they've been having and making it more capital efficient. They claim 4,000 times more capital efficient. So for example, let's just go to the charts really quickly so I can show you guys what I'm talking about here. But essentially you can give them your money. We go to pairs here and look, fees, how much you can accumulate. So the USDC ETH, you're getting about 45% a year. This is phenomenal. Like you don't see this in any traditional finance. Now, if you want to go like non-impermanent loss, that's a whole nother video. But if you guys want me to talk about impermanent loss, I can. If you want to go the non-volatile way, you can get into USDC, USDT, which you're getting an average percentage 8.81% a year on your US dollars, right? A US stablecoin. Now, obviously that has some inherent risk. It has smart contract risk. It has, you know, stablecoin risk, but that's better than any bank on planet Earth. And at least, you know, when you give your money here, you actually own it and you can get it back immediately. In a bank, you know, as soon as your money touches the account, they're investing it, right? So it's beautiful what's happening in decentralized finance. The killer app is here. They're fixing the killer app. They're making the killer app better. And they're specifically doing it in a way I thought was really strategic. So as you guys can see here, they are upgrading. Introducing Uniswap version 3. Uniswap version 1 is launched November 2018 as a proof of concept for automated market makers, a type of exchange where anyone can pool assets into shared market making strategies. In May 2020, you know, version 2 introduced new features and optimizations. Okay, let's just skip that. Today, we're excited to present an overview of Uniswap version 3. We're targeting layer 1 Ethereum mainnet launch on May 5th and layer 2 development optimism set to follow shortly after. So they're capitalizing on this, guys. They're capitalizing on this. I'm going to go over it briefly. This is a very long article. I want you, and I invite you guys to read it for yourself. You know, I always tell you when you watch my videos, you know, I give you the overview, I give you the quick information, but I highly, highly recommend you follow it up with your own research and really understand what's going on, because even I can't explain some of these things. Some of these concepts are so brand new that like I'm learning it with you guys, right? I'm learning it and then regurgitating the information to you guys in a consumable way. So again, if you want to just kind of skip the middleman, right? Read it yourself, right? Understand what's going on. There's nothing wrong with pulling up these videos, but you have to combine it with your own research. I'm not the only one that's going to tell you that, but it's just the truth, right? So it introduces concentrated liquidity. This is crazy. I'll explain more. You have to understand the automated market making mechanism. But you know, they're essentially fixing a lot of variables that I personally didn't provide liquidity for this reason. Maybe I might do this in the future. Multiple fee tiers. So, and certain fee structures is going to be different per coin. So some of the more, you know, volatile coins, you can get a higher fee. And then some of the, like the stable coins, like the USDT, you can get a lower fee, et cetera, et cetera. LPs can provide liquidity with up to 4,000 times capital efficiency. Capital efficiency is very simple. It's basically the amount of money you spend to make money. So like, for example, if you're spending $100 to make $1,000, your capital efficiency is 1 to 10, right? So they're saying they can get 4,000 times better. Now, the reason why this is important to you is because this is specifically involved with the price prediction. You know, if they're 4,000 times more capital efficient, then remember, Uniswap's token appreciates in value from a lot of the fees being generated on Uniswap. This is literally a cash flow mechanism that previously in 2017, 2018, the last bull run was not available. This was not a real thing, right? So again, this business is supposedly, they're claiming, going to get 4,000 times more profitable, essentially, or have more efficiency, if that makes sense. So capital efficiency paves the way for low slippage trade execution that can surpass both centralized exchanges and stablecoin focused AMMs. LPs can significantly increase their exposure to preferred assets and reduce their downside risk. LPs, liquidity providers, can sell one asset for another by adding liquidity to a price range entirely above or below the market price, approximating a fee earning limit order that executes along a smooth curve. Essentially, what they're giving you here, and I'm just going to give you the baby version, they're upgrading the features for liquidity providers. They're giving liquidity providers, which is the true customer of DeFi. What do I mean by that? The true customer are not the people that swap the coins. They can swap that anywhere. They're not attached to one place. They can move from centralized exchange to another decentralized exchange. They could jump to another chain. But the true customers are the ones that stick around and provide liquidity. That's the true customers in DeFi, right? I told you guys the killer app is annual percentage yield, right? So again, it's a weird concept to understand, but right now, again, the customers are the liquidity providers. You need to get that in your head. I'm not the only one that says this. That is a true killer app. So they're upgrading the features for the true customers, right? So that they can provide more liquidity. Uniswap would generate more fees. They will get more, volume. It'll be a better user experience for the people that swap tokens. Everybody makes money, et cetera, et cetera. So let's go over really quickly concentrated liquidity. It's going to be a very basic understanding. You can dive extremely deep into this concept. But if you understand how automated market makers work, it essentially works like this, right? Let me kind of just pull this video up right here. It's called a yield curve. So basically, there's two pairs of coins. And when one coin is, let's say, for example, you're doing USDC versus ETH. If Ethereum goes up in price, then this yield curve, as you know, the swap range goes up in price as well. This is a very hard concept. If you guys want to dive deeper into this, I can do this for you. But previously, if you're a liquidity provider, essentially you have exposure to the whole yield curve, right? Your liquidity is going to be used to generate fees for the whole curve. So what that basically means is that if we never reach up here, if the price ratio never gets to the top of this curve, then you don't receive fees. So that means, like, hypothetically, if you put $100 in, you're only getting exposure to like $50 to receive fees. Only $50 of your $100 is actually generating fees because most of the trading is happening within this price range right here. Now, LPs can concentrate their capital with custom price ranges, providing greater amounts of liquidity at desired prices. And this is important because most of the exchanging is happening in the middle of the curve, right? Again, very hard concept to understand. We'll talk about this more in the future if you guys want to dive into specifically, but there's other channels on the internet that talk about this. You can read articles on automated market makers. I don't want to make this video too long. I'm just explaining to you guys that the features of liquidity provision are upgrading, increasing, and doing way better, right? Also, LPs can approximate the shape of any automated market maker or active order book. Users can trade against the combined liquidity of all individual curves with no gas costs increased per liquidity provider. Trading fees are collected at a given price range and are split prorated by LPs proportional to the amount of liquidity they contribute in the range. This is crazy talk here. Let's actually jump into a little article that actually made this a little bit more consumable. Let's just go over the first concept one more time. It allows liquidity providers to inject liquidity into a certain price range to increase the trading depth and reduce slippage so as to improve the capital utilization efficiency. Okay. In version 2, LPs provide shares according to the liquidity and evenly distribute service fees. But in version 3, LPs can choose to inject liquidity near the final price to obtain more service fees with less funds. Again, you could just make more money with less money, essentially. Version 3 is obviously friendly to stablecoin trading. For volatile asset trading, the choice of a price range is a difficult problem. Once the price is out of a specific range for a long time, LPs would not be able to obtain service fee bounties in addition. And this happens all the time because the market's super volatile. So once the price ratio is out of target, people don't make money essentially with all of the money that they provided as liquidity. So you're getting exposure to risk with all of your money, but you're only making fees on a portion of your money, if that makes sense, because of the volatility of the market, right? Therefore, users can take part of the funds, inject liquidity, and other parts to hedge the downside risk or invest in other projects to generate income. Just more, again, more, how do you say this? More control over your money, right? They also provided another feature, multi-rate, more pools per pair. So essentially, the fixed rate is 0.3%. When it comes to fee structure, it's changed to 3 levels now. Now the fee structure is going to change. You could do 0.05%. It's probably going to be used for like stable coins. You could use 0.3%. And then 1%, which like for more volatile assets. LPs are allowed to set up to 3 pools of different fees for each trading pair. For example, low rate risk trading, such as stable coins, can choose the low rate, right? Because there's not a lot of risk. There's not a lot of volatility. So they can choose for less fees. And more people will use that pool, if that makes sense, because it's cheaper fees, right? And then if it's a risky coin, they can essentially get more fees because remember, you get impermanent loss risk, right? So basically, if an asset, right, let's say you pick, I don't know, BTC versus ETH. If BTC goes up in price and ETH goes down, impermanent loss, you essentially lose money to the pool. You actually lose Bitcoin and Ethereum. if you guys don't understand this concept, again, these pools, you get a portion, you get a percentage of the pool. So let's say you put in $100 worth of Bitcoin and $100 worth of Ethereum in the pool, you're going to get 0.001% or something like that of the total pool share. Now, if the price differentiates, if there's the asset, for example, Bitcoin increases in price, Ethereum decreases in price, and it changes, right? If it separates from where you purchased it and permanent loss comes in, you guys technically lose a little bit of Bitcoin and Ethereum depending on which one goes up and which one goes down, right? So impermanent loss, right, has been a big issue. So you can essentially make more fees for these riskier trading pairs, right? Now they're also implementing NFTs of LP tokens. The reason doing this is because LPs can choose different price ranges to inject liquidity. The risk level of LPS is also different. The version 3 of LP token will no longer be an ERC20, will become an NFT token. They're just using this to have more control, again, over what specifically you're doing within the pool. The main idea is to allow users to put pending or have a scope of order as well. So also, and if you look at number 4, scope of order, we can go to the main page, right? So if we go to the main page, they're all talking about the same thing. This is just a much easier way to understand. But basically, when it talks to number 4, they're giving you another range. So they're actually explaining it right here. So essentially, you can choose to take your liquidity out at a specific price range. So if the money goes over a certain point, whatever the case is, then you can pull the liquidity out. So like, for example, let's say, again, you're doing the ETH versus BTC pool. If Ethereum increases to a certain price point that you don't want to hold the Ethereum or whatever the case is, you can swap it out automatically, which lowers impermanent loss risk, gives you more control over your money. Essentially just more tools for LP providers, right? Another thing I thought that was really interesting is advanced oracles, because we know that oracles are a feature that a lot of people, purchase in cryptocurrency. Obviously, Chainlink's doing very well. So basically, these oracles can be used in different places, right? These oracles serve as a critical piece for the DeFi infrastructure and have been integrated into dozens of projects, including Compound and Reflexor. Uniswap version 3 offers significant improvements to the TWAP Oracle, making it possible to calculate any recent TWAP within the last 9 days in a single on-chain call. This is achieved by storing an array of cumulative sums instead of just one. So again, more accurate information for the biggest decentralized exchange for everybody else to actually see the price of something, right? So for example, if they have the price of Ethereum going at a certain cost on Uniswap, everybody gets more accurate information through the Oracle service. Now, also, I thought this was really interesting, right? Before, SushiSwap just essentially copy and pasted Uniswap's code, and they took a lot of liquidity away from Uniswap in the past. So now they actually have a license. They license their information, so which is really interesting. It's the first decentralized protocol to do this, but let me kind of just go over this one because I think they explained it a little bit better. Software business license. The Uniswap version 3 code will be protected by the business source license copyright and will be restricted from improper commercial use within the first 2 years. So essentially, nobody can just copy and paste their code anymore, which is going to give them a little bit more room, I would say, when it comes to, kind of just getting more adoption. I don't know if that can hold up. Who knows? Maybe they'll sue SushiSwap if they try to copy it again. But yeah, I thought it was just really interesting. They're also implementing bug bounties for people to, if there's something going wrong with the protocol, you can get paid to exploit it, and, honestly exploit the protocol to make sure that there's no issues going on with the version 3 or whatever the case is. And they're giving out a maximum reward of $500,000. So if you're a developer and you want to see if there's any issues with version 3 Uniswap, you can go ahead and jump into that. The general gist here, guys, understand they're trying to lower fees. They're trying to give more control to the LP providers, and so they can make more money. They're trying to essentially just give the user experience for LP, for token swaps. They're trying to make things easier, obviously deploying layer 2 version of Optimism to make the transaction fees better, because as you guys know, I spent like $7,000 in transaction fees buying some of these Uniswap tokens, which I'm not going to lie to you guys, might take away dominance from, Binance Chain. Binance Chain essentially has been doing this, and that's why it's grown in price. They're competing. Ethereum's competing. Guys, ERC20 tokens are going to be the future. It's not going to be like, some other blockchain comes and steals the show. It might be interoperable. It'll be something where, I think it's going to be Ethereum, the big show. And then some other people are going to come and connect and have specific use cases like Cardano, and maybe Polkadot will have like their specific use cases, but Ethereum's not going anywhere. But yeah, for the price prediction, guys, again, we're just throwing numbers at the board. We'll see if we can specifically get to a price, but understand that this is just all assumptions, right? So the way I look at it is, the market cap is, I think, where it's supposed to be right now. It's above Chainlink, right? It's above Theta. I think maybe if it were to jump a little bit more, we could probably eat up like XRP, which is maybe a double. So I would say again, like it's accurately for the market when it comes to cryptocurrency and in terms of the cryptocurrency market, I think it's accurately priced. I do. Now, in the larger scheme of things, a lot of people say, that we're going to get the whole total cryptocurrency market cap is going to be about $10 trillion. A lot of people say that. People actually say that Bitcoin specifically is going to be $10 trillion. I like to be a little bit conservative. So I say, okay, maybe the whole cryptocurrency market becomes, $10 trillion. So if that ever happens, I mean, it's very specific, guys. I do the same thing every single time. We're at $1.7 trillion. If the total market capitalization of all cryptocurrency becomes 10 trillion, that's about a 5 to 6x. That's about a 5 to 6x for Uniswap, right? If we move up in price, I could definitely say if we get to like Polkadot Cardano range, maybe Binance Chain drops off, we take some market cap from Binance Chain, we could definitely say maybe a 7 to 8x by the end of the bull run if the premise of, Bitcoin eats up gold, right? If Bitcoin actually eats up gold, right, cryptocurrency becomes $10 trillion as a total market cap in general, like all of cryptocurrency, I can confidently say there's going to be anywhere from a 7 to 9x, maybe a 5 to 8x, right? Which right now, Uniswap is $27. So that would mean what? Here, let's just do some quick math. If we pull up the calculator, $27 times 56 times, I don't know, let's just be realistic. Let's times 7, $192 per coin. So what does that mean? If you put, let's say, roughly $5,000 into Uniswap, which I would say is a pretty safe bet considering it's a top coin, right? Divide this by 27.56. That's 181 coins. Multiply that, $192. So as you can see right there, multiply this 192. So you could turn $5,000 to $34,000, $35,000. I don't think that's out of the question. I think that can potentially happen as long as we see a $100,000 Bitcoin, as long as we see the market cap of all cryptocurrency get to $10 trillion, which is not out of the question as well. And I do this for every single video, so you guys can go watch other ones. I do a couple of price predictions, a lot more serious. I'm looking to actually get some data science models and actually look into other people's price. Hint, we're developing a price prediction real model where we essentially look at articles, like every single price prediction ever made, and we aggregate that data into one ultimate price prediction. I didn't want to say this, but it's happening soon. We'll get you guys that in the future because these price predictions, everybody does it, and it's not 100% accurate, but it's cool to play around with some numbers. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. If you like the quality of this content, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism. Subscribe for more video updates. And like I always say, if you don't get with it, you will get left behind. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one.